All right, what is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. Week 6 is over. Week 7 is coming up. I am your owner, your commissioner, owner of the Aardvark Kings, back to back. What some people call the GOAT. I don't say it. I agree with it, but I don't say it. Grant Cron. This week, I've had a couple different guests now. Trevor's filled in. My brother's filled in. Connor's just about ready to get back onto the stream here. But this week, we trashed him quite a bit last week. I felt it was only fair we bring him back this week. Longtime listener, first-time caller, owner of CMCU Later. Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Defend my case here a little bit. And
last week, Harris did most of the trashing. I did some. I did vote. If I remember right, I did vote for you to win.
You did.
So I came back around. I saw it. I understood. It's a week. We're giving you shit, but it's just 1 week. We all can have bad weeks.
Right.
But Harris doesn't know that, so he was laying in. Oh, real quickly. Last week I forgot. That was the first time in a long time I haven't done a shot before we start
got
this.
one poured up.
So I actually got 2 this week because I missed last week. So here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dose. All right. That's out of the way. So yeah, I wanted to bring you on and let you kind of state your case. And you know what? After the performance you had in week 6 here, not much to state. I think you put up like 140 points. So that's easy to be like, average. Yeah, it was a bad week.
I've got to be averaging over 115. I mean, without that bad week, it's pretty solid in my opinion.
I think me and Connor were doing the math the other day, and I think there's only one team, or there's 2 teams that aren't averaging within 120 points, in the 120 point range. Connor's at 138 points a week he's averaging, and Harley's at like 116, 115 He's averaging. Everybody else is in throughout the 120s. I think I was 127 and like a half. Billy was like 128. Natalie's like 126. And so we're all in that range. But so how long, I was thinking about it before we started, how long have you been in the league? Have you been in the league since the inception? All 6 years?
I think I missed the first. I think that was Sam's win. I don't know if he was the first winner.
He was, yeah.
I came in the year after he won, because he was talking a lot of shit at the draft, and I was like, I didn't know who he was at first.
Okay.
All right, so this is who I got to watch out for, and I think ended up tanking that next season, but.
Yeah, I think he pretty much tanked that next season, the next 2 seasons, and then he was done.
Yeah.
Or 4, so. Maybe it was 4 seasons, and then. Yeah, it would have been, because he would have been the first draft of the CBS league, and then he was out, and then Trevor took his spot.
So then, I'd be the second year is when I came in.
Yep. So still, I mean, how would you describe your overall your career in the Aardvark Minor League Fantasy Football League? Would you say you're in the upper echelon, Hall of Fame, middle, or bad?
I don't have any accolades other than I think I've only missed the playoffs the one year. Maybe I haven't missed the playoffs. I'll have to go back and look, but I don't think I've even missed the playoffs yet. So pretty consistent on my end. I feel like I don't get the recognition, but I put up numbers.
And, you haven't made it through past the first round yet.
I have not made it out of the first round. You
haven't won a playoff game.
I'm leaning on.
But you've been there, and that's the only thing that matters, as long as you can get there. So I'd say, you've had a pretty good career.
Yeah, it's been. I think last year I was battling most points, but I was also dealing with most points scored against.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
you had
was
a
putting up
weird
numbers, but
deficit.
I was getting crushed most weeks, but still putting up numbers. So I think my luck is switching a little bit around
Yeah.
because I got the weekly newsletter from CBS, and they're saying I shouldn't be so cocky because I've the least points scored this year.
Oh,
So I'm
really?
trying to change that narrative going forward here because I think I got a solid team.
Yeah. Uh, I love those articles that they write because they're fun.
Oh yeah,
Because I
yeah.
think they're just like AI generated.
I read them
Um.
like right away. Like I'll be in
Oh,
at work and just
yeah,
kind of waiting for them to hit, and
yeah. Because it'll be
you
like
know,
noon they come out,
yeah,
and it'll just be like, oh, perfect. Oh yeah, I got to pull it up and see what they say. I haven't seen any
yep.
power rankings ones this year. I don't know if I'm just missing
I
them.
no,
There
those are coming in. I'm getting
are
those.
they? Maybe I just haven't
Yeah,
seen them. Um,
yeah. Those come in. I think at the same time, or maybe it's a day before.
I
I think
think
those
it's
come out Tuesday.
yeah, it's either the day before or the day after. At least historically, that's how it's been. But I haven't seen any this year. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. But I mean, I'll put it up on the website. The website will have it underneath like the standings tab.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but also those are different than the AI generated ones. The AI generated ones are, uh, I think, just kind of like what are like the AP poll, the Associated Press poll,
Yeah.
like if
Yep.
a
Yep.
newspaper made them. So it's a little different. Where if you go to the website, I think it's a little bit more formulaic on how it's
Oh,
determined.
okay. Yeah,
And
I can see
so,
that.
because yeah, it's like the ones that like are the AI one. It's almost a little bit like opinion based, a little bit of
Sure.
just like how a person would be like, oh, but they beat so and so, and so beat so and so, so that would put them here. Where then the website just goes like, yeah, but here's what the numbers say. The numbers say they go here.
Right. I do like the cheap shots they like to throw in there every once in
Oh
a
yeah,
while too.
yeah. Every article have one little shot where it's just like, ow, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool that it picks up on that kind of thing.
yeah. All right, well, let's get into week 6 wrap up now. The first matchup I have
Oh,
up on the screen is Big Smith Energy versus Cowboys D for 54. I think we're starting to see with Cowboys D for 54's team that if the Cowboys D ain't bucking, it's
yeah.
gonna be a lower team. I mean, I think his record accurately reflects how the Cowboys D have done. If when the Cowboys D goes off, he's getting that win. So they've gone off 3 times,
Oh,
not
for
gone off
sure.
3.
Well, I
But
mean, I think Harris made the point that, you know, his defense could have just about beat my entire team last week with 66 points. So,
yeah,
you know, the crazy numbers that the Cowboys D have put up this year is pretty astronomical. I mean, you shoot for over 20 and he's breaking that by I mean, he's almost doubling it some weeks it seems like.
yeah. Um, it's nice to see. So Alvin Kamara is suspended the first handful, 3-4 games. It's nice to see he's getting some production out of him, but uh,
Right.
I guess
Yeah,
I
no,
can't see
it's
his bench right now or who he has on the bench. Maybe he's some buys, but Devonta Foreman,
yeah, no,
ballsy move right
that was a
there.
pickup. I saw the notification come through and I didn't even I'm normally pretty good on the hot news and trying to get those quick pickups,
Yep.
but yeah, he was all over that. And I mean, 7.7 is you know for an RB2 isn't the worst thing in the world, but
No, but
you know, you were to
you're also playing Kenneth Gainwell, which I think was a free agency pickup, only getting you
yeah,
2.7, and Tyler Higbee getting you 3.8. It's kind of like you needed to pick up that slack somewhere. Billy also not
yeah,
putting
that
up like a great. I think high teens puts you almost in the competitive range in our league this year. Uh,
right.
but it's still like if you're in the teens, I mean, it's still kind of anybody's game. And so
Yeah,
Billy,
that's when you see those really close nail biter type of matchups is when you're in those, you know, 105 to 120 range. You start
yeah,
breaking 120, that's when you start to see the dominant wins and that kind of thing.
yeah, because Connor is If all three, if Kenneth Gainwell, Tyler Higbee, and Devonta Foreman all scored like 3 more points each,
right,
this is almost a different game.
Yep, you start to see that flip. I mean, Jared Goff even, I was listening to K-Fan over the week, and they brought up Jared Goff, and I was kind of thinking to myself, it's like, he's had a productive year, and there was, I think it was Seifert was on there with K-Fan, and he wrote an article in 2021 saying that this might be his last game with the Detroit Lions. And
Jared Goff, really?
Yeah, and he's obviously getting ripped for that take because it's been the complete opposite. He's been on fire.
Yeah.
And I kind of think the same thing about Kirk Cousins, where it's like, yeah, it's he puts up numbers, but you don't get excited about that name, really.
Yeah, it's not flashy. It's not putting asses in seats.
Right.
But it gets the job. He's getting the job done.
I mean, 31.4 points that's nothing to shake a stick at on your starting quarterback.
Oh yeah. If you can
get it done.
If you can get low 20s, I think your quarterback a starting quarterback should get you low 20s. Like
right.
Jalen Hurts getting 21.9, that's the bar. As far as
for sure.
A quarterback should go. Anything more than 25, you're playing with house money. 30s, it's like fucking go off, Queen.
Yeah, that'll carry you, but in this case, he just doesn't have the depth, I don't think, to build off a performance like that.
And you know what? That's what this league comes down to, I believe, is because we play all 18 weeks, depth is so important.
Right.
If you don't have depth, you can get to the championship, you can make it to the playoffs, but as soon as teams start all of a sudden clinching playoffs and people start resting for that, then it's kind of like, well, who else do you have?
Yeah, you got someone. Those teams.
You got to have depth. I
hope you have a guy that, that's on that team that's on the bubble of a playoff game. That are scratching for it. If you got a guy like that, then you're pretty golden.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next one I got is Worst to First versus Aardvark Kings. Me versus Connor. This was an absolute shootout at the end. It came to Sunday night. He was up by 3 points. I had Gabe Davis still left to play, and he had James Cook still left to play.
Oh, wow. So it was a teammate battle.
Teammate battle. And oh my Lord, it's just like, come on. I need, like, I thought I had going before Sunday started. I was like in my head, I was like, I got it. There's no way I lose this. Gabe Davis has been averaging 20 points pretty much a game. He's got like 3 weeks in the 20s, like 1 in single digits, and then the rest kind of like in the teens, high teens. So I'm like, if James Cook puts up 7, I think James Cook is around like averaging 9 points a game. I was like, perfect. Gabe Davis, put 12 points on the board for me. That's all I'm asking for.
Like, do what you've been doing type of thing.
His projection's 12.9. Hit your projection for me. That's it. I don't need anything more. Hit your projection and we're fine. Couldn't do it. I was just like, oh my God, this is my season. That's my season in a nutshell.
Yeah. That's a tough place to be. I mean, especially when you look at the bench and you've got Tyler Boyd down there at 16 points.
Yeah.
I mean, hindsight, the whole saying, but
yeah, Gabe Davis has been my guy. I've been riding with him all season, and he's been paying off. Like I said, he's couple 20s.
He's a guy that I target a lot of seasons, and this season I stepped away from him because of weeks like this where it's like, Gabe Davis, he's good for that touchdown or two. Big yardage.
Well, he's gone 4 weeks in a row with a tutty. The last 4 weeks, every game he's had a tutty. It's like, why stop now?
Right. Yeah. That when you start banking on Gabe Davis, that's when he burned me.
Especially the Giants, especially against the Giants. I'm like, it's the Giants. Giants are not that great this year. And he had a fumble in the first quarter, and the second he fumbled on his second reception. And the second the ball came
Yeah.
loose, I was like, that's it for him this game. That's literally it. How does Josh Allen target him again?
Yep.
So
Yeah, because I mean, having Gabe Davis, you're coming from an owner that's banked on him for a couple of seasons, is you're waiting for that play all game,
yeah,
and if you don't get it, then you're just in a tough spot.
yeah. So, but yeah, worst to first winning 146.9 to 137.9. I mean, both
Yeah,
of us. I mean, even I could say too, Kirk Cousins putting up 11 points. That's the lowest he's done all week. Everything else has been 20s, high 20s to 30s. And
yeah.
so
Against Chicago, no less.
yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's tough to see. I was thinking to myself, this is one of those Vikings wins that has never felt more like a loss to me.
Yeah. It was kind of it was an ugly win. It was one of those they don't ask how.
But yeah, props to worst to first there with 146.98. That's a respectable as hell score right there. So
yeah, both of these numbers, 146 to 137, you put this up against pretty much everybody else, you're almost guaranteed to win. Like I say, in our league, 120 is if you're in the 120s, you're being competitive. If you're in the 130s and above, there's a good chance you're just gonna win. Unless someone just absolutely goes off.
It's a good bar to aim for there.
All right, next I got Catch Me Outside, Herbert That versus Bijan Mustard. 124 to 101. I don't know how to I can't get a read on Bijan Mustard this season. Part of me wants to say they're going to be very good, but then he has weeks like this. I think he's been the lowest scored once already this year. And now he's putting up 101, but he's also 500.
Right. Which is competitive in his division right now.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that in mind also.
Yeah, because I think he has that wild card spot in that division.
I think he's leading, for the second spot he's on top.
But I need so much to start happening for me. I need Jacob to start losing. This was a matchup. I think I picked Travis to win. Too.
Which, I mean, what the projections? Well, he's
projected 141 points. And he fell 40 points short of that. That's wild. Diggs getting 20 is good. I mean, he's got double digits except for two people. His tight end, who the fuck is this Ferguson fella? Dallas?
Oh, yeah, I tried to target him even. He's been pretty good.
And how about that Puka Nacua ever since Cooper Kupp came back?
Yeah, you hate to see that. I mean, some of the experts, I've been watching some videos and some articles are saying he might recover from Cooper Kupp coming back, being that solid wide receiver too, but
no, he falls in that.
Putting up.
Yeah.
You come back with 6. That's tough.
I feel like he's falling in that category like Gabe Davis, and Gabe Davis has as many receptions and targets he does get during a game. He does kind of fall in that category of you kind of need him to get a touchdown to be relevant.
Touchdown dependent. Yeah, those are tough to deal with.
Does Puka Nacua fall in that category now? Is he touchdown dependent?
I think he is, unfortunately, which, like I said, is tough to deal with when you're...
But, I mean, 4 receptions for 26 yards. He's not a deep ball guy. I think this may be the best of it now. Because that to me screams short routes. I mean, that's 22, 2.5... What's that? 7 yards a reception. That's just kind of that middle route.
Yeah.
And so
one of those quick hitters type of receivers.
Which,
I mean, it could work out in
third and 3, and you just need a quick hey, just go up 5, cut over kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's in certain systems that kind of wide receiver is very fantasy relevant. Like if you think about a Jacoby Myers in in Vegas,
Yeah.
he's got those quick hitters where Devontae Adams doesn't really thrive. And if you look at Jacoby Myers and his production, a wide receiver in that system can do really well fantasy wise, but I don't think that works with the way Puka has been without Cup. I mean, he was on fire, obviously. So I don't know if that role fits him very well, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we'll see how he does. But catch me outside. I mean, pulling up to 500 now. He was two. I think he must have been 2-3 going into this, so he's 3-3 now. So
yeah, he's definitely one I've got an eye on, and being in my division, and I'm trying to, I'm banking on him getting those losses in a matchup like this where a couple things go right for Bijan and he gets the win, and unfortunately it comes up catch me outside. But you can't knock a guy for putting up 124 like we said a couple times. That's where you want to aim to be. So it worked out for him this week.
Because right now, playoffs for the American division is Big Smith Energy with the number 1 seed, you with the 2 seed, and catch me outside Herbert that with the 3 seed now. With this win, I mean, he kicked Natalie out of playoff contention.
Yeah, it's kind of it's been over the last, year, 2 years, it's been a 4-way race between me and, Natalie and Jacob here, battling for that number 2 spot, I feel like. And, he's coming up, he's chasing me down here. So I got to keep going forward and make sure I put up more good weeks like this week. But I got my eye on him, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's next one, guys. I got your matchup. CMCU later versus Better Luck next time. Great matchup. A matchup within 8 points. A solid week from you. 140 points. You come off of last week with 66 points, the lowest of the week. To put up 140, you're up in the top now of this week. And like I say, solid all across. I mean, think about if Logan Thomas got you more than 1.2.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
you're looking at a good tight end would 150, 150.
Yeah,
it's a good week.
I banked on Travis Kelce last year, and I am feeling the burn of not having him this year for sure. I've been trying to stream a tight end all year. If you look back at my matchups all year, it's been the tight end position has kept me from being that top scorer by quite a bit, I think. Because I think right now I am the highest scorer of the season. But
you're the highest points for
consistent tight end.
Let's see here. In the American division, you are. Okay. You're the second.
Which is what
Connor's at 833.
Right. Oh, okay.
But you're the highest in the American division by 10 points. Right. Jacob's right behind you by 10. Now.
So, yeah, that tight end position has been killer.
Okay, so this is crazy. So, from you being the top at 789, the lowest scoring team in our division is 767. So what's that? That's a swing of 22 points?
Yeah, it's been heated.
Compared to the Lebanese division, the top is 833, the bottom is 676.
Wow.
So a swing of around 150.
If you think about it, the American division is where you want to be in that top echelon where it's it's cutthroat. So that's
yeah. You know what? It's stuff like that I look at and go, this is why I did it. I set up the league this way. It's almost that right. This is this league working.
Yeah, you see it coming together a little bit.
Because even if you look at the Lebanese division, when you look at the top 3, they're all pretty close. So like the 3 best of them are being competitive, and then you have
be competitive on our division even.
Exactly. And so I love that it's kind of working out that way, that you really are having the cream of the crop rise in the American division. Even though like I'm 1-5, I'm still competitive. It's because
Right.
we
You
up
look at the
until this
stats.
point we've only played our division. I think a couple
Exactly.
people have played outside at this point, but so far our record is pretty much our division record. And so it's
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see.
yeah.
Well,
Uh,
going back to my matchup, I did want to bring up a little blurb on that I got from the article in the from CBS is during this week I was actually Harley was projected with a winning percentage of 86% at one point on Sunday. So
really?
I was able to climb back through that adversity and get it done. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, because I mean, when did the Vegas and New England play? Did they have a 3 o'clock or did they have the night game? Because
They were
they didn't have the night game because that was Giants Buffalo. Were they Monday?
I think they were the Monday night, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh, because
No,
that's
that would have been Dak Prescott. Yeah, that was Dallas and Chargers.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because 4.9
But they were a later game.
that I would almost say that's the difference of this matchup is Devonte Adams. Devonte Adams
Yeah.
Devonte Adams hits his projection of 20, completely different game. You're losing.
Well, I was sweating it because he's got basically the entire Raiders offense. So if somebody's hitting, I was struggling to keep up with him, and that actually ended up being Jacoby Myers. I was
That is
watching.
actually true.
Yeah, so I was trying to keep up with him when he's got three opportunities for a big play all game, and I was just waiting for that game to end all afternoon to keep it close, and it ended up working out. But yeah, it was a close matchup. I'm glad I came out on top for sure.
Pittman doing great for you too, getting you 20 points. That's
Yeah, that's
is
another
that
guy I've
different
leaned
or
on.
is he been silently good?
He's always been that. I've been very high on Pittman. I've had him a couple of seasons, and Connor actually made a comment at the draft when I grabbed him, or maybe I kept him, but he made a comment. He said, "That's your guy," and I've kind of been riding with him because he's not a flashy name,
No.
but
Well,
he's
he's
been
on the
he's
Colts.
been secretly
That's working
consistent.
against him.
Right? Yeah. It's you don't look for people on that offense, but he's the number one target. He's had an off week or two, but he hasn't hurt me
Yeah.
in the past, so I've just been riding with him, and it works out this week.
And Keenan Allen just being the most consistent, I think, wideout of all time for
Yeah,
you
I'm glad.
this year.
I targeted him heavily at the auction, and I kind of felt like the read around the room was why is he paying up for him, and
This is
it's
why
obviously
though,
paid off.
because I mean, what he's pretty much been 20 points every week at least.
I don't know if he's dropped under that. I'll have to double check, but
Yeah,
that
it.
50 plus pointer was all I needed to know that it was worth the extra salary cap on him. So
Yeah.
I'm glad it hit this year for sure.
All right. Well, let's go to the next one. Got Natalina Wine Mixer versus Danis System. Uh, an expansion team putting up
Wow.
almost 160 points. I mean,
Yeah,
we love to see this
that's
because
impressive.
Natalie's losing. I think 2 weeks ago she was top of the division. Now she's dropped
Yeah,
two in a row.
yeah, I was able to claw up into second place there, and then we were tied at in the power rankings in the division, and I kind of got my legs under me after the 66 pointer, and was able to claw up and pass her over this week. But yeah, that's 157.7. That's good to see from an expansion team. It sees
Yeah.
kind of tells you that you know they're here, they're ready to go. Give them some time, see what happens here.
Yeah, and even it
But
kind of to me it kind of shows. I mean, even being 500, I think both teams are 500 right now.
yep,
Both expansion teams are 500. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's not as much as a disadvantage. I mean, I think Danis System is in the playoffs right now.
oh for sure, yeah,
Cowboys D for 54 is on the cusp. So I think,
and I'll tell you,
and all you gotta do is make playoffs. Either of them could still win. I mean, Cowboys D for 54 has Cowboys D start going off. He can win the whole thing.
yeah, I mean that's literally carrying the team for Cowboys D. But you hate to see Raheem Mostert at 34.2, and it's not enough. That's tough to see.
Yeah. Conklin definitely being the stinker for Natalina wine mixer. I mean, 5.4. But also it's a Zach Wilson offense. So
Right.
I don't even know how Garrett Wilson's been doing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't followed him much, but you definitely feel the pain of not having Aaron Rodgers this year, and
Yeah.
how unfortunate that injury is because you kind of see that the NFL scheduling was based off of Aaron Rodgers being there.
Yeah.
Just with the primetime games that they're dealing with, and the added pressure for Zach Wilson during those games is got to be tough.
Yeah. And I think this is Eckler's first game back off injury. 10.2. Maybe they're working him slowly in, but he's little human.
Yeah.
That's looking good for us. I mean, if Moster's going to keep putting up 34, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, he's been one that I've targeted in the past, and it's never worked out for me. Every time I've picked him up with another, if he's a RB2, and the RB1 goes down, I picked up Raheem Mostert, and it's never worked out. He's always been a stinker of an appearance, and
Yeah.
Natalie, it works out here for her at at 34.2. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't work out for the W, but that's a hell of a performance right there.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Mostert puts up 34, and you hate to see the L.
Yeah, yeah, it's easier to swallow if that 66-point performance I put up last week hurts, but if everybody puts up terrible numbers, it's easier to swallow, and
yeah,
you kind of just take the punch. But if you've got a guy that goes off like that, and you still don't have enough to win. Those hurt a little bit more, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially because going over to Dana's system, I mean, you look at it, it's like nobody scored more than that. That was definitely the highest scoring player of this matchup. But you got 24, 21, 21, 28, 17, 11, 11. It's just consistently across the board.
Solid.
Everyone's just hitting. None of them are haymakers, but it's just a flurry of jabs coming at you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of that's what you aim for, is just to have those big numbers spread out a little bit like that, and
yeah,
that tight end disparity that he's got, that advantage with Kelsey, is just, it's hard to beat. I've had Kelsey multiple times, and it almost gives you that 7-10 point lead right off the bat.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat.
Well, and this was, I believe, Dana's system's first week without Justin Jefferson. So this is a good sign for him.
Oh, wow.
A good sign for him saying, like, oh, shit, doesn't even matter. We put up points.
Yeah. Yeah, that's impressive without, not having JJ like that. Is you love to see that. I mean, you lose your star player like that, and you figure to put up a 66-point week like I did when I had 3 bye weeks.
Yeah.
My whole starting lineup was wiped out, but
he's almost better. He's almost better without him.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
All right, our last matchup of week 6, John Popper's Harmonica being the lowest scoring team versus Post Mahomes, 104 points. Yeah, Trevor, that's it. That's only team to not score 100 points. I mean, literally, you know what? Okay, I'll say this. I was telling you, Mike, this before we started. John, I'm fucking angry. I hope you're watching this right now. I hope you're watching this, John. Texting me, how about that W? You put up 104 fucking points. It's 104. You're the second lowest scoring team in the league. You should be lucky. You should be thanking the gods you're 3-3. You would only be 2 other teams this week. You're lucky you scored the lowest scoring team this week. Otherwise, you would have lost. It's either that or who scored 101 points. Whoever scored 101 points, you would have beat them. Outside of that, nobody else. Bijan Mustard. You would have beat Bijan Mustard. Yeah, good. I'm glad you fucking watching, you rat fuck. You absolute piece of shit. How about that W? Yeah, okay, yeah, you have the W. Just go hang out in the corner, okay? Just go sit in the truck and don't touch the radio. God, you absolute piece.
Oh, man.
104 points.
I can't talk a whole lot of shit because that would have beat my last week's score by 40.
That was last week. We're talking about this week.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't be excited about 104 points, but
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. I would hope nobody would be noticing me. I would hope that when this matchup comes up this week, we just look at Trevor's 83 points and just focus on that. 104. What's 104? Oh, you just had to say something.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean. How good has Patrick Mahomes been this year, though? I just feel like he's been consistent, I guess, but you're used to that being
you're used to that being close to like 30s, consistently 30s.
Right. It almost seems underwhelming to me to see 19 points there.
Yeah. Well, especially I feel like he's been around 20 points average. That's it. Which, I mean, is good. That's what you hope for. Like I said, 21's the bar, and he's averaging that. But this is Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. You would think.
It's been a weird year for him, I think.
Yeah.
Then, on the flip side, with Justin Fields, I think that was the play, unfortunately. And it just didn't work out. I think his backup's
Trevor Lawrence. So...
Yeah, I mean, he had 18 on the bench. But, I guess they were going against Indianapolis, so I probably would have played Trevor Lawrence, but,
yeah, because I think Justin Fields only had one good week.
Yeah, I mean, he put up, wasn't it like 30-something in, last week against Washington? Because I played the Commanders' defense.
Yeah, and that was good. Yeah, because DJ Moore he just threw like 3 or 4 touchdowns. Other than that, it's just been, it's nothing worth note from Justin Fields.
Right. Yeah, just I kind of envisioned him doing that same thing against the Minnesota defense last week, and it,
Yeah.
I mentioned to you before that was the most that win felt more like a loss to me than I can remember. It didn't feel much like a win.
Yeah.
As a Vikings fan, but
yeah. But I mean, we held him to 58 passing yards. Apparently, he almost had more rushing yards than passing yards. Montgomery got hurt. That was a huge blow for John Poppers, and George Kittle only getting 1.1 is tough. I mean, that's one reception for 1 yard.
Yeah, I mean, coming off a big week last week too.
Yeah,
that's one guy you don't typically just, that's one of those guys you kind of set and forget, at least in past seasons.
That's how I would take it every time, is set and forget. Even now, even though he puts up 1.1, I mean, it's the name of, it's George Kittle. At any time he could go off for 40 points.
Right.
He could have that 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown week. So you rock with it. It's unfortunate. But it's those kind of things that then cause 83, the lowest scoring team.
Right.
So Trevor, you can go ahead and Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, Cash. Cash is fine too. However you can get it. You know how it's done. All right, we'll get to the preview now. First matchup I got is worst to first versus Catch Me Outside, Herbert that. Worst to first is a wrecking ball right now. He shows no signs of slowing down. I mean, he's leaps and bounds the highest scoring team, and that's a scary team to go up against, especially if Jonathan Taylor is the Jonathan Taylor we knew about 2 years ago,
Right.
then this is a very scary team. And yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see how you vote any other way.
he's definitely trying to live up to his namesake this season. It seems like.
Yeah, he was last place last year,
He's,
and now he's definitely he's on that road of worst to first.
what were you saying? He's the highest scoring team this season so far. Is
He
that
is.
what you're
He's the
saying?
only team to score over 800 points total. He's at 833, I believe.
That is one way to claw back for sure.
Yeah, that's a statement piece. Well, this was pretty much the team he tried to put out there last year. But
Right.
Cooper Kupp got injured, Jonathan Taylor got injured, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown was injured decent amount, and I think he had ETN last year.
Yeah, I mean those are.
And he ended up getting hurt. And so this is kind of his revenge tour. This season is his
Yeah.
revenge tour of last year he got hit by the injury bug bad. Waddle got hurt last year too, I think, for a little bit.
Yep.
And so yeah, he's making up for last year. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I mean
I'm gonna go with worst to first on this one. That's my pick.
that's definitely hard to go against. I mean, you put in if Jonathan Taylor is like you said, the Jonathan Taylor we're used to, you flip him in there for for James Cook. That's a stacked team. That's scary
Yeah,
to go up against.
yeah,
The only thing I kind of that kind of scares me a little bit is that Steelers defense. I think they've got to be bottom of the league here.
yeah. That's kind
Yeah,
of got to be
they're
the
third
one.
worst.
Yeah, that's the one
But
black spot on the record there. But that's just
yeah, I mean that could go either way. Like that everybody's used to that. You
his
kind of just hope for the best.
flex defense and tight end. Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
not a flex. Oh, I was reading D Hopkins as DeAndre Hopkins. That's his kicker.
No.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, it still holds true. Defense, kicker, and tight end are his three weakest positions. Outside of that, I mean, that's a pretty stacked team.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of see him keeping the ball rolling here this week, and yeah, my pick would definitely be worst to first this week.
And of course, he is gonna choose himself. He texted me his picks, and you don't go any other way.
Right.
Next matchup I got is Cowboys D for 54 versus CMCU later. I got your matchup, Mike.
Perfect. Got plenty of opinions.
Now this is
I
one.
definitely am. I'm excited about the fact that this is the 1 week that Cowboys defense is on a bye.
I was just about to
So
say, who does he have a defense on his bench?
I don't see a defense on the bench yet, so he's gonna have to either drop Cowboys or lose a roster spot to stream a defense this week.
And I don't know if he drops Cowboys defense. I'm gonna stream 3 defenses. I'm just
Yeah, that's gonna be blood in the water if that happens. So I don't recommend it. I don't think he will, but
I recommend it. Cowboys D for 54. Go ahead and drop them. You don't need them. Although that is the namesake.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's tough to drop the namesake. I don't believe in dropping the namesake. If you name your team after someone, no matter what happens, you got to keep them around.
Right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, you are. Christian McCaffrey is hurt.
Yeah, that's.
What are they
I mean,
saying?
that's kind of the risk you take. I've had him a couple years, and I've had to deal with that injury bug that he's got. You look at the numbers when he's in, and it's undeniable that he's a guy that carries your team, which he has.
Yeah.
I see he's projected 2 points right now. I have him in the lineup still because it sounds like they're still optimistic that he can go on Monday night. The only issue is he plays Monday night. So I'm trying to figure out what to do in that respect. But I'm hopeful that they're just projecting him too low and he's going to be all right for Monday night. I mean,
what's his
Vikings
injury?
are middle of the pack. He's dealing with an oblique injury
Okay.
right now, so he's there. I don't know if it's been confirmed if it's muscle or if it's cartilage related. with that rib injury, or if it is the muscle. So they're
That is,
hopeful. They say they're still optimistic that he'd go Monday night. Like I said, the only issue is he plays Monday night. I was busy Tuesday morning, so I didn't get any opportunity to grab a streaming option. Being either Mason or Elijah Mitchell. That was my fault as an owner. So I
yeah.
wasn't able to pick up an option there.
Do you not have
I got
you don't
spiked.
have do you not have a backup?
I have backups to go, but I was hoping I could keep McCaffrey in case he goes, and I could just
Yeah.
flip him for another Niners running back, which obviously I don't have. So I either have
Yeah.
to risk him being good Monday morning, or I play somebody else on Sunday. So that's kind of that's a decision I have to make as an owner going into this weekend. But I think either way, I think I've got this matchup pretty well locked up with that defense being on a bye,
I think so
based on
too.
the fact that has literally carried him. What at the draft I was not impressed. It was a risky tactic, which I get he took a different approach, being that it seems like he's kind of based his picks on next year and trying to get some
Yeah.
keepers type of thing.
Yeah, he definitely
So
said that. But I mean, also, it's like it is kind of working out for him this year. I mean, he's in
right,
the hunt for the playoffs, and it's not a terrible team. I mean, he needs a lot to start really.
a little bit. I'm not hearing you. I still got nothing. Can you hear me? I got nothing. Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little worse, but I think I got you clear enough. Little. Oh, Can you hear me?
All right, can you guys hear me? It's gonna be.
What do we got? I can still hear you this time.
All right. All right, I know you guys can hear me now. It's gonna be a worse quality, I think. So just bear with me, guys. We got 4 more matchups to go, and then we're out of here. So just bear with this poopy audio, if it is poopy, for just a little bit more. All right, so I'm gonna pick for this matchup. I'm gonna pick your team. I can't remember where we were, so we'll just go with picks on this one. I think.
Yep, I second that.
I don't know who's available to pick up on defense in the free agency, but I think the Vikings, last I looked, are the best out there, and it's not a lot of hope. So
yeah, going against the 49ers, you got to put somebody in there, So
yeah,
obviously, I take myself in this matchup.
And our co-commissioner Connor is going to take you also.
All right, I think that might be one of the first or second time he's done so I'm feeling good about that. Seems like he's been a hard customer to get on my side.
Yeah, he's been a hard one to please. All right, next we got Danis System versus Aardvark Kings. God, I want to say that I'm just going to blow Danis System out of the water, but we saw Sam Howell last week put up like 28 points.
Yeah.
We saw this team go for 157. I mean, this exact team pretty much.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like that name. He's been sneaky good. Sam Howell.
Of course, I'm going to take myself in this matchup, but I don't think this is going to be an easy matchup. Not like the project. I mean, maybe this is going to be exactly like the projections say. I mean, he's got Bengals defense on bye. I don't know if he has a replacement. So I think that's 3 teams this week that are looking for defenses because of bye weeks. I think Natalie's team is also looking for a defense. So yeah, I think Billy's was, or no, Billy's wasn't. Billy dropped Eagles defense.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I swooped him up. I swooped him up right away.
Nice.
I got the email, I read it, and I go, that's like the best defense in the league? Okay.
Yeah, that's a scoop for sure. What are they ranked?
I think fantasy-wise, nothing special.
It's still flashy. It's a flashy defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see he's got Kyron Williams at 0 points projected. He's got some guys on the bench.
Yeah, Kyron Williams is hurt.
I
have his replacement, Evans. So yeah, he can put Elijah Mitchell in that spot, and then I think it's getting closer to a matchup. I think he puts a defense in, fixes that running back. We're looking at, I think, both being projected around 114.
Yeah.
And in fact, he might overtake me on projections then, if he does.
I'm not sure I love having 2 Vikings wide receivers in there.
Dog, his entire team is like Vikings.
Yeah, I don't like the matchup. The stack of Osborne and Addison on there. But looking at his roster, it seems like that's kind of what he's got going for him. So, in this matchup, I think I go you on this week. Like you said, if he adds those pieces in, it'll definitely be closer than that 71% projection that you got going for it, which is always a joy to see when you look at.
Yeah, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but it is nice to see.
It is nice to see going into the week, but I know how projections go, beating that 86 percentage points I was going up against. So
yeah,
it could go either way, but I do take you in this week.
Connor will take me also, he said. All right, next matchup I got is Better Luck Next Time versus John Popper's Harmonica. Now, John Popper's Harmonica coming off lowest scoring last week. Harley 1-5. He's put up some points here and there. He's got a lot of buys though right now, as it looks.
Smokes,
CD,
yes,
Chubba Hubbard, Dalton Schultz. I don't know what his bench looks like.
I count a total of 5, including his bench spots.
Ooh.
That is tough because when I had 3 buys, I scored 66 points. He's got 2 more than that to deal with. So this will be a tough test to see what his managerial skills look like, and if he can flip this into something usable. But I know from experience that bye week hell is not where you want to be. So.
Yeah, especially at 1-5. Like if you're something like 5, like Connor's 5-1 or 4-2, then it's like okay, we can sacrifice a week. But 1-5, you're behind the 8 ball. You got to start stacking wins, not losses at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely a turning point for him. He's got to get it going. I do want to throw a jab in there and say that if he had taken me up on a trade in the last couple of weeks, he would have been 2-5 right now. So just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and throw that one in there.
But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see if he can pull some magic out this week dealing with those bye weeks. Obviously, my pick is going to go John Poppers this week. That's an immediate advantage.
Yeah.
When your opponent is doing something like that.
Well, in looking at Better Luck Next Time's roster, so
I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
He's got Justice Hill to replace Chubba Hubbard. Then he's got Julio Jones. He picked up Julio Jones.
I did see that
to replace CeeDee Lamb, and he's got Kyle Pitts to replace Dalton Schultz. So I think he's got the bases covered. But is that enough? I think Justice Hill doesn't get the job done. Julio Jones, I kind of doubt we'll see the field.
Yeah, I mean he's got to learn an offense yet. So
yeah, Kyle Pitts, it's Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
he's got 2 career touchdowns.
That's been surprising. That's one of those guys that everybody was high on.
And so I'm going to go with John Popper's Harmonica. And I'm pretty confident, Connor did the same. We're all kind of going the same direction tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty clear cut, I feel like, for most of these matchups. We'll see how it shakes out.
Next matchup I got is Post Mahomes versus Natalina Wine Mixer. Somehow, Post Mahomes is... Oh, I see how. Post Mahomes is favorited. But, I mean, difference of 2 points. Natalie has a wide tight end on bye, so
yeah,
she could fill that with anybody off free agency, and she's
it's a crapshoot.
So
you throw a body in there and see what happens if you don't have a top 2 or 3 tight ends. So
yeah. I think this is a blowout by Natalie.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Josh Allen against New England, and that New England team has just been a tragedy to watch. So I have a feeling that Josh Allen is feeling a little bit upset with himself over the last few performances, and I think he bounces back in a big way.
Yeah, he's bound for a big bounce back.
Yeah, I can see one. He's got that personality to him where he kind of takes it to himself if he's not performing to a certain standard, just based off the coverage that they show you if you're watching a primetime game that the Bills are in.
Yeah.
So and she's got Raheem Mostert. You kind of hope he's gonna do something big again. I mean, he's projected at 17, which is what you love to see.
Yeah.
Austin
And
Eckler.
Eckler. Yeah, Eckler's back from injury. He got 10 last week. You hope he only goes up.
Right. Yeah,
So.
I mean, this one, it's projected to be close. I don't think it's going to be as close as they project.
No, I don't think so either. I think John could hit his projection, but
right.
I think that's the highest he gets. I don't think he gets more than 119. And I think the ceiling, the ceiling on Natalie is way higher.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I could see that being, I could see her putting up way more than that this week.
Yeah, I could see her be around the 140 mark this week.
That would be doable in my opinion. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of contrary.
No, we're all going the same way this week. Cause even Connor took Natalie. In our last matchup, I have Bijan Mustard versus Big Smith Energy. It doesn't look like Billy's dealing with any bye weeks, and he's only projected 110, which is kind of wild. But then you look at his team, Devonta Smith has an injury designation, and one of his running backs has a injury designation.
Yeah, it looks like he's already done some roster management because he's only got one player on his bench that doesn't have a bye. It's actually Kincaid, tight end for Buffalo, but he's got 4 players on bye already on his bench, so he's done some moving around already.
This is his moving around, huh?
Yeah, this is what he's got going. You don't really, I'd put Engram over Kincaid in this matchup, so I think this is what he's going with this week, and yeah, that's an interesting projection there.
Yeah.
You hope for Hurts a shootout against Miami, like you get that projection close or higher, and you got it pretty locked up in that regard. But
especially for a game like this is I think a must-win game for Philly. I mean, just to kind of show that put the stamp on it of we're the best. Miami is a high-scoring team. Miami is a pretty good defense, and it's a big win game for Philly here. It's a tough game that Hurts has to come out shooting his best.
Yeah, for sure. And you look at Bijan Mustard here, and Bijan Robinson has been everything you hoped he'd be with that pick.
Yeah.
And going up against Tampa Bay, that's the defense I've been trying to keep going most of the year here. And I'm not sure where they rank rush defense wise, but that kind of defense flies around pretty good. So I'm hoping, for Bijan's sake, being that I'm in the American division, that Bijan is Bijan this week. He's got DJ Moore, who's been just on a tear. So you hope he continues. Yeah. So these projections, I mean, they seem fairly solid this week, in my opinion. But it could go either way. I mean, this could be pretty close, or it could be very, very on par with the projections, I think.
So who are you taking then?
I am going to take Bijan in this matchup, though.
Okay.
Just putting my own spin and where I want my division to end up. I hope that Bijan hits his projections, and it's a pretty good win for him this week.
Well, I'm gonna take Big Smith Energy.
Okay.
I think Hurts has a big week. Kenneth Walker should have a pretty good week against Arizona. And if Devonta Smith is Devonta Smith, I mean, if Devonta Smith does good, Hurts does good.
That's a good stack for sure.
So I'm gonna and Connor also took Big Smith Energy also.
Okay. So we got a little bit of spice going.
We got a little spice on this one. So that's our last matchup.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll come back here. So yeah, that's it for this week. Sorry for the audio issues there, Mike. Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
Like I said, long-time listener, first-time caller here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, this was a fun one. good luck this week, and yeah, we'll have you on again soon.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for having me. Everybody, good luck.
Have a good night, everyone.